Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about how to write a cover letter. But first let's look at what is a cover letter. A cover letter is the letter that you are going to send with your resume whenever you apply for a job. It's kind of an introduction, and it's what the hiring manager is going to read and then make a decision if they actually want to read your full resume or forget about you. So it's the gateway to job opportunities, and it makes your cover letter really important when you're looking for work. So you want to have 4 parts in your cover letter to give the hiring manager what they need. The first thing you need to definitely have in your cover letter is your contact information. Make it as easy as possible for the hiring manager to get hold of you if they want to ask you something about your resume or set up an interview with you. So make sure that your name and your surname, your telephone number, your email address are in your cover letter. The second thing you want to put in your cover letter is a greeting, because nobody's going to read a letter or an email that isn't addressed to anyone. And you want to avoid things like "to whom it may concern" or "dear sir." You actually want to try to get the name and surname of the hiring manager to put that in your greeting. So if you do get this information, you can say "Dear Mr. Jones" or "Dear Mrs. Jones." If you can't get that information, then keep it "Dear Hiring Manager." So you need a greeting. The third thing that you need in your cover letter is sort of 3 paragraphs that are going to introduce you and give the information that the hiring manager needs. So the first paragraph, you introduce yourself. You can say what position you hold at the moment, or what position was your last position, or whatever relevant positions you've had for the job you're applying for, how many years experience you've had, if it's substantial, and talk about the job that you're applying for so that the hiring manager knows who you are and what job you're after. Your second paragraph in your cover letter will be more information about any sort of relevant skills or knowledge or experience or qualifications that you have. Now try not to talk just to waffle on about stuff. Try to give specific facts. So if you're a manager and you manage to increase productivity in your team by 10%, then say that, project manager or general manager who increased team productivity by 10% in 2019. This is statistical data or data of facts on information that makes the hiring manager interested, because you have an important skill here that can add value to their team, something that they want to bring in. Always focus on the value that you can give to them or bring to this company. And the third paragraph, you want to talk about when you're available, and you want to put your contact details in there. So you want to say, I'm available for a chat, for a coffee, I can come in for an interview whenever you'd like, or I need to give 4 weeks notice at my current position, or I'm available immediately to start. So give them the information they need if they want to go forward with this, and tell them how to get hold of you. Then the last thing, the fourth part of your cover letter, is you want to close it off nicely. You want a closing and a signature. So you want to say something like "yours sincerely" or "best regards," and then your name and your surname there. So those are the 4 parts that you should put in every cover letter that you send for any job application. Now, if you still need to work on your resume, then I've got a wonderful free 5-day email series on how to become a resume star. So I'll put the details below. Sign up for that, and good luck with your cover letter. And here we have an example of a cover letter. This is actually one of the cover letter templates that's in my resume bundle that I sell on my blog called Tiara Tribe. You're welcome to go over there and get it for yourself. But let's go through each section and see what we need to provide. Let's start off with name and surname. The person receiving your cover letter really wants to know who is actually writing to them and how they are going to get hold of you if they need to. Give a phone number and an email address in case they can't get hold of you with one method. Let's say jane@email.com. And you can also put the state that you live in, especially if you need to relocate. But now if they want to set up an interview with you or ask you any questions about your resume, they know how to get hold of you. Your cover letter can be sent as a separate letter, as a PDF, with your resume, especially if your resume is a PDF as well. Some job sites allow you to upload a separate cover letter, and sometimes you need to email the hiring manager. If you're emailing the hiring manager, then your RE, this sentence over here, is going to be in your subject line so that they know what the email is about. I always like to say experienced because I've had experience in that position. If you are a graduate and you don't have experience, you can always just use qualified, or you can say application for, and then the job title, the position that you are actually applying for. Make sure that you keep the job title exactly the same as how the company listed it, how they advertised that job. Let's pretend that we are a language teacher and we're applying for an English teaching position. So we've now told them that this is what we do, this is what we have experience in, and this is the position that we are applying for. They can see they are very relevant. You need to address your cover letter to someone. It's much better if you can actually get the name and surname of the hiring manager, but if you can't, then start your cover letter with "Dear Hiring Manager," just like this. Your first paragraph will give your background information, sort of how many years of experience you have, what industry you've worked in, what skills you have, and it will always focus on what sort of value you can add to the company. You want to let them know that all this experience and all these skills that you have are things that you can bring to the table. This is what you can bring to the job. So make sure that it's impressive. Think about your most impressive experience, the industries, what's relevant to the job that you're applying for, what skills do you have, and you put them in here. So let's pretend we've had 10 years experience as a language teacher, and say my teaching or my training skills will prove to be an invaluable addition to the team. I'm bringing over a decade of experience and I have very strong teaching skills, and this is what I can add to your team. The second paragraph, we talk about what your passion is, what your backgrounds are, and what your strengths are. So in the template, I give a lot of examples that you can choose from or you can change. But let's see, coming from a strong professional, corporate, creative, collaborative background, let's say educational. I'm driven by getting results, performing analysis, creating products, organizing events, etc. So these are the things that get you up in the morning. What gets you excited? What do you really enjoy about your job? So I am driven by in the classroom. My top strengths are customer service, communication, problem solving. You want to choose at least 3 strengths here, and you want to think about what really are your strengths and what are the strengths that this company is looking for in this position. So try to match the two. My top strengths are, let's say, communication, because that's important as a teacher, right? You also want to be a problem solver, and innovation, which we'll give examples for just now. So the third paragraph here is information on your achievements or examples of what you've done in previous roles. So what is really 1 or 2 things that really are great highlights or that give data for what you are claiming above? Let's say that we were able to increase the class average by 2% in a year. Do you see how I'm giving data for what I'm claiming, what I've actually done that was so amazing, and also an award that I received that's very important, that'll get the interest of the hiring manager to actually go ahead and read my resume. So we've given them a little bit of a taster here. Your background, how much experience, what your strengths are, what awards you've had. We're going to ask for action from the hiring manager. We're asking them to take a look at our resume to see more about our professional experience, our education, and our skills. And we ask them to set up a meeting with us so that we can discuss it further. We want to have an interview or maybe have a cup of coffee or something to discuss the position that we're applying for. So we'd like to discuss this further and the possibility of me joining your team, your school. Let's pretend that this school is called ABC School. Right, so there's our action. We've asked for the next steps. This is what we would like the hiring manager to do after looking at the resume. We close it off with sincerely, and then we put our name and surname again. And that's a very easy cover letter that you can set up. For each position that you want to apply for, I would make sure that the information in the cover letter is still relevant to that position and that you have updated the company names that are in there. If you work in a more creative or dynamic field such as design or digital marketing, and you know the company where you are applying for a job, they're very relaxed because you've done your research, you've asked people that work there, you've seen the listing, you can tell, then you want to adapt your cover letter to be a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more dynamic and creative too. So I have this really great example of a cover letter that I have used and had great success with. I'll walk through it with you. I've blacked out the personal details, but you'll still see what I mean, and you might get some inspiration for your own cover letter. Now the same rules apply. You still want to put all the relevant information. You want to try and get the hiring manager's contact details, name and surname. You want to put your own contact details in there. You want to cover all the basics of what you bring to the team, education, skills, experience, and you also want an action step at the end. But let's walk through it. Here I said dear, and I addressed the hiring manager directly because I did my research and found their name. Then I explained where I actually saw the listing so that they know why I'm writing to them. I started with a basic introduction to let them know how I found the listing and which position I'm actually referring to in my cover letter. I said a friend of mine sent me a link to and I had the position, name, and the website where I found it because she thought I would be a great fit for this position. I'm very happy that she did because I think I can add a lot of value to your agency. Do you see how I'm letting them know what I'm bringing to them? I am there to help them. Then I went on to say, here are the top 3 reasons why I'm going to be a great fit for their team and for this job. I went over the job listing and I highlighted the key points that I knew they were looking for. I took that, I matched it to my own experience and my own skills and things that I can prove. And then I summarized them in 3 key points. The first one talks about my experience in managing remote teams and projects, specifically in account management and customer service. I knew this was very important to them. They also said that it was a very stressful and dynamic environment, which I love. So I said, I thrive in a dynamic environment where I have opportunities to learn and grow, along with the freedom to apply what I learn. So I covered my experience. In point number 2, I wanted to show that I have proven experience in this. I've done it. I can actually give statistics and data for it. I said my passion lies in online business, copywriting, and digital marketing, which I've been pursuing through my own blog at tiaratribe.com. I have my own blog and my own website with a lot of articles. They can see that this really is my passion. Then I gave them a snapshot of how I've grown the site over the past year, which was quite impressive. Here's my Google Analytics. I took a screenshot of it over 365 days. I've blacked out the information, but you can actually see how I've grown it over time and that I know what I'm talking about. That I really do spend a lot of time and effort and energy and thought into building an online business, to writing copy, and to marketing online. There's my stats and data to support what I'm claiming. Number 3. They want someone who can deal with their clients, someone who represents their company, which I also have experience in. I explained that I had my own retail store for 2 years and I was an account manager in the UK. I talk about my customer service and client relationship management experience and how I can deal with people on all levels. I really make it clear at the end of the third paragraph that I will go above and beyond to make their team's job easier and more effective and to keep their clients happy, which I could tell was very important to them from the job listing. The final paragraph is the action paragraph. I'm letting them know that I'm interested and I'm asking them to take action and contact me to set up an interview. There I say I am currently and talk about what I'm doing, working on my blog. So I have a flexible start date. I can start anytime helping them with the work. If you have any questions or would like to set up an interview, please give me a call or send me an email, and there's my contact details. So there's another view on a cover letter. The basic rules apply of what you need to include, but you can play around with your cover letter, and depending on the industry that you're in or the type of job that you're working on, and also the type of experience that you have, most importantly, let your own personality shine through.